What's up, YouTube? It's your boy JB, and I'm here today with a new show that I'm doing this year. This is Marriage Bootcamp Hip Hop Edition. I believe this is season 14, you guys, and it's episode number 1. And the episode is titled Hashtag Not Winning. So, you guys, let's just go ahead and just jump right into the video. All right, you guys. So, I think this is going to be interesting. So, I'm gonna talk about the couples and what their issues are. So, the first person we see is Jocelyn. She's there with Ballistics. So, the reason that Jocelyn and Ballistic are at Marriage Boot Camp is because Jocelyn is, she and Ballistic have been together for 2 years off and on. And at this point, Jocelyn is ready for Ballistic to, make her his wife, propose to her. Whereas he wants her to kind of like, hey, I'm the man. Let me, decide when I'm ready to pose a question of marriage to you. But she's not on that. She's not on that wavelength with him. Next, we got Styles P and his wife Audua, who's absolutely beautiful. So the issue in Styles P and Audua's relationship is she feels like everything is boring. They don't have fun. They don't go out. They don't do anything. So that's what it is with them. She feels like their whole relationship is boring. The next couple we got was Bianca from Love and Hip Hop, New York, and her boyfriend Chozes. Now, when it comes to Bianca and Chozes, they've only been together. Well, Bianca says that they've been together for a year. Chozes says that they've been together for 9 months. The issue with them is they constantly fight with each other. And we saw Bianca on Love and Hip Hop New York fighting with, the girls on the show. And I can understand, I can definitely see it in her relationship. Now, when it comes to Bianca and Chozes, I believe that Bianca and Chozes are, number one, they're childish as hell. Number two, they're young. And, with those two's relationship, she's talking about the females that he tries to make her jealous with. And I'm going to talk about that in just a little bit. I'm going to go a little bit deeper into that in just a minute. But I feel like those two are way too childish for each other. Next, we saw Michelle and her boyfriend Stu. So they've been together for 10 months with each other. And Michelle's whole thing is, one, Michelle and Stu don't live in the same state with each other. Number two, Michelle and Stu, there's an age difference between those two. Michelle is older than Stu, and I don't know what the age difference is. They didn't ever say what the age difference was, but Michelle is older than Stu, and she feels like she's keeping Stu from probably being with someone older not older, someone that is younger than her, that he might be more attracted to than he would be to her. I'm gonna get into Michelle and Stu in a little bit too. And then the last couple to arrive is CeeLo and his fiance Shani. So CeeLo and his fiance Shani, their issue is communication, which you could definitely hear that in the first scene, because when they were doing their interviews with the production staff, you could it's just like talking to someone of a foreign language when CeeLo was talking. But the issues between those two are, like I said, number one, communication. Number two, past issues, and how he struggles with those issues. So, they all sitting around, and then they start to hear, applause, people applauding, and Michelle like, what's going on? So Michelle goes to the, goes and finds that there is an audience around, and this is a set of a, award show, which we're going to get into that in just a minute, you guys. All right, you guys. So a little bit before we actually get into the award show, Styles P and Audua, they lost their daughter 4 years ago to suicide, which that's really sad. Like my heart goes out to them with that one, and it's a testament to it. Aside from the fact that Audua feels that their relationship is boring, I think that is a true testament to them, that they went through one of the most difficult times in their lives, and they are still with each other. Because most times when that happens, the couple splits apart. So that is a good thing for those two. We also did find out with Jocelyn and what's his name, Ballistic, that Jocelyn, because she's talking about, they look like they have good sex. We all know Jocelyn loves sex, and we also know that Jocelyn is bisexual. Ballistic said that Jocelyn told him if he came home one night and saw her getting head from a woman, don't be upset and don't be surprised. And I was like, wow, you really told him that? Oh, couldn't imagine it. So, the awards show. This is going to be the first ever Marriage Bootcamp Hip Hop Awards, and it's hosted by Dr. Ish. So, we started talking about the awards. So the first award that was given out, it was for the most turned up. Now, what they did not know that they were so when they talked to one on one with the producers of the show, and they were asking them some questions, they didn't know what they were asking them the questions for, but these questions were dealing with this award. So the first award, like I said, most turned up. So that award goes to Bianca and Chose, rightfully so. And so I want to go a little bit deeper into Bianca and Chose. When it comes to Bianca and Chose, I feel, like I said before, I feel like they're very young, they're very childish for one. And, Bianca wants to blame Chose for everything, for the fact that, she fights females behind him. And my whole thing with that is, if he's messing with other females, why are you fighting, why are you fighting with the other, why are you fighting with the women? Go after him. But then number two, one time should be enough. You shouldn't be fighting multiple women. Like, at a certain point, you got to look at yourself and be like, you know what? Why am I fighting over this man that clearly, obviously, must not love me the way that I love him, or must not want to be with me the way that I want to be with him? So then also Judge Lentola comes out and she addresses Bianca, and she's telling Bianca that basically Bianca needs to take back her power and her peace, because she's letting Chose play mind games with her, take control of her mind. And Bianca says that she wants him to love her the way that she loves him. I don't necessarily 100% think that Bianca truly, I don't know. Well, I do know that I saw, the premiere party, which was a few nights ago. Bianca is pregnant, so I'm assuming she's pregnant by this dude. And after watching this episode, I hope that they get their shit together, because if you're bringing a child into this world, you guys, like I said, you guys have a lot of issues that you guys need to try to figure out how to work through. And if you don't figure out how to work through it, how do we expect to bring a child into this world? Like I said, they're childish as hell. And I'll discuss that a little bit later too. I will discuss that. Let's move on, you guys. So the next award, it was FOMO. And I think the FOMO stood for fear of missing out. And that award went to Michelet and Stu. And when it comes down to Michelet and Stu, again, it's the age difference. But also for me, I feel like when it comes, I don't feel like it's anything to do with Stu. I feel like it's all on Michelet. And I don't want to place blame on her, but I just feel like with Michelet, I don't feel like Michelet, she says that she's she's gotten through the stuff that she's been through, but I just don't feel like she's completely let go of the stuff that happened with her and Dre and her and Sugar Bear. I just don't feel that way. Like I said, she says it, but I don't believe it to be 100% true. I feel like Michelet still holds in some of the stuff that's from her past, and she's kind of bringing it into her new relationship. I feel like, I could be wrong, but that's just what I get from it. That's just my viewpoint. So, let me know in the comment section what people think. Let's move on. All right, so the next award was for Unlit. So Unlit went to Styles P and Adjua. So, once they got up there on the stage, Styles, he owned up to it. He said, you know what, I'm taking all the blame for it. And, not Doctor, but Judge Toll said, she commended him for that because even if it was just, he had 1% and Aljoa had 99% of it, he took the brunt for it. But he says, he by the time that they leave, he wants to leave. He wants to, be able to smash that award. And like I said before, I think it's commendable for those two, especially going through, losing a child. I think it is definitely commendable that those two have managed to make their relationship last and work. So I definitely, my hats go off to them, those two for that. Then the next award was for Ill Communicated, and that award went to Shawnee and CeeLo. Definitely agree with that award. Ill Communicated. And the reason why I agree with that award, Ill Communicated, number one, there's a communication issue completely between those two. CeeLo is an artist. He knows how to communicate to the world, but when it comes to communicating with his fiance, he doesn't know how to do that. And then they were showing a scene. They were showing where he was talking to the producers, and he told her if she wants to leave, she can leave. And I agree with what Judge Toller said. That's not something that you tell somebody that you love. If you want to leave, you can. That's not something that you necessarily say to the person that you're in love with. You're completely in love with. Also, when it comes to them, I definitely think there's a big, huge communication issue with those two. And I'm gonna say the communication is a two-way street with those two. And I think Shawnee has to know that she does have a bit of communication issues in this relationship. And I'll tell you why I believe she has some communication issues. So, if I'm not mistaken, I believe CeeLo and Shawnee have been together for 8 years. And for those 8 years, they've been engaged. I don't understand how, and I'm not knocking people who have a long engagement, but to have a long ass engagement like that and not have marriage, to not be married, I just feel like women, do better for yourselves. That's my message. Do better. If you see that a man is, slowly moving his feet about marrying you, you need to sit down, you need to have a discussion with him and tell him, ask him, what the fuck is going on? Why are we not married? We've been engaged for X amount of years. What's going on? I think that a reasonable time for an engagement is between maybe a year to 2. I think. No longer than 2 years. And my thing is, I know most women want that extravagant wedding. And at the end of the day, it's not about the wedding per se. It's about you making that commitment in front of the loved ones and God to love this person till death do you part. So if you have to go to the Justice of the Peace and get married, that's fine. And then and even if money were an issue, you could say, hey, it's not a good time right now for us to get married, but let's go to the courthouse to get married. Let's save up our money, and let's, when we are ready to have our big extravagant wedding, we can do that. So, I just feel like I said, it's definitely communication on CeeLo, but it's also a communication on Shawnee as well. So I'm not going to place all the blame solely on CeeLo. And then lastly, we got the Ride or Die Award, which goes to Jocelyn and Ballistic. So I definitely got to say that I agree 110% with Ballistic. Now, I get it. Jocelyn wants to be his wife. But you can't sit here and pressure a man to marry you, because eventually the man might get tired and say, you know what, fuck it. I don't want to be treated like a child. I don't want to be treated like I'm less than a man. You don't want to be treated any type of way. So I do agree with what Ballistic says. Let me decide when we get engaged. Let me pop the question. Don't badger me. Don't hassle me. And then, he's talking about what he does for her and the little girl. And I'm like, Jocelyn, you got a good dude right here. The best thing for you to do is just to sit down, sit back, and be like, you know what? This man obviously loves me and my child. Let him be the man. Let him come to me on bended knee and propose to me. Then I'll say yes. But don't just be like, oh, you got to make me your wife. You got to make me your wife. He really doesn't have to, but if he wants to, he most certainly will do so. So, you guys, let's just move on from this award show. All right, you guys, and so then to close out the episode, we see the rooms. The rooms are interesting to say the least. So we're gonna start out with Bianca and Chose's room. They have a boxing. Their room is a boxing ring. It fits those two. They fight each other. But like I said before about Bianca, I need Bianca to want what's best for herself. Don't keep fighting females behind this dude who is childish as hell, but you're just as childish. And let's talk about them. So before the room got ready, they were out by the pool. She told him that she didn't want to go in the pool, but yet instead he pulls her in the pool. I'm just like, exactly. You two, you gotta grow up. You gotta mature. That's the key for you two, maturity. On top of the fact that, yeah, you guys might fight, but the biggest issue with you two is a lack of maturity. So then, the hell is that? Sound like a dryer. I guess my neighbor's drying. So next on the list is we saw Michelet and Stu's room. So inside of Michelet and Stu's room, there are some photos of Michelet, but then there are also photos of other younger women around the room. And she's like, so I gotta look at this all the time? Yes. And like I'm saying, I feel like with Michelet, I do feel like it's some kind of insecurity issues just a little bit. And the insecurities I feel is, like I said, the issues with Dre and Sugar Bear. She has to be able to finally put that behind her and let that be her past. I think that's what Michelet's true issue is. CeeLo and Shawnee's room, their room is a half and half. So his side is like the Buddhist side, and then her side is like an office side, and it has some things for her. It had a checklist like wake CeeLo up, make sure CeeLo's breathing, stuff like that. And I'm like, my thing was, what does that have to do with communication? I didn't understand what that had to do with communication, but maybe they'll explain it. I don't know. Who else am I? So Styles P and Ajua's room, unlit. So it's a dark room. You know, stuff has set on fire. Like, you know, when you set stuff on fire, the ashes. The key to them getting... That is so annoying. Because it just throw off my train of thought. But yeah, their room is dark and dank. So they got to find a way to bring the light to their room. And then Jocelyn and Ballistic's room. I didn't understand Jocelyn's and Ballistic's room, honestly. So they had this big, huge bed. But then I did understand when I saw what was on the other side. So they have a friend zone, and then there's two separate beds. Now those two got into it with each other, and I'm still thinking to myself, like, Jocelyn, you not getting what this man is saying. The man is definitely telling you 100%. He loves you. What he wants you to do is chill out. Let him be the one that says, hey, don't do what Chrissy did on Love and Hip Hop New York Season 2 by proposing to Jimmy. Let Ballistic come to you, because she's talking about, you know, if they don't leave her, if they leave her and she ain't got a ring on her finger, they're not gonna be together. And I'm like, you are basically dictating to this man what he's gonna do, and no man wants to hear that. But you guys, that was the first episode of Marriage Bootcamp Hip Hop Edition. So be sure to like this video, leave your comments, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell notification button so you guys know when I drop anything else. Share this video, and I will catch you guys tomorrow for Love After Lockup, aka Love After Lockup. Choked y'all. Later.